Something being said here is that rates are national, but real estate markets are local. We're here to talk about that on Today in Mortgages. Hey, what's up, Dreammakers? I got Hugh Hartzog back in the studio with me for one more episode, and we are talking about something that they say a lot on their show, which is Hugh Knows on the Bunk and Baker Mortgage channel on YouTube, and that is that rates are national, but real estate markets are local. So Hugh, can you explain this thesis to me?
Yeah, so when you're talking about an interest rates are going to be set nationally, and that's the reason for that is because both the Federal Reserve is impacting, as we've seen, what mortgage rates do, but really what drives mortgage rates is the mortgage-backed securities market.
Sure. And
of course, that is a market that's traded all over the United States and indeed all over the world. Real estate, on the other hand, is only traded in specific locales.
That's right.
You know,
I'm not buying a house in San Francisco.
Right. To buy a house in Houston, you have to buy a house in Houston. And so the market that's going on with Houston is going to be specifically relevant to that real estate. So while the mortgage-backed security market, the Federal Reserve, what's going on with 10-year Treasury yields impacts interest rates, and that's what's going on with real estate is really dependent on what's going on in that particular locale, how the local economy is performing.
Yeah, so we're here in Houston, Texas, and so your show is specific. You're selling to your local market. You're talking to your real estate partners. But I think this is something that people can do across wherever you're selling, wherever your market is really look at the data that's happening in your city or in your state to see what's going to be happening in the coming months and years to be able to sell better and talk better about your local market. And so one of the things that y'all do is break down, what Houston companies are doing, what the prices of homes look like, how many real estate agents are dropping out of the business, things like that really, I think, give you guys a competitive edge when you're talking. You would talk about some of those indicators that y'all look at?
Yeah, so I mean, this is a good example of why you have to think about real estate locally is like the Houston economy has exposure to a couple of different major industries. It's a diverse economy, but
sure.
Obviously oil and gas is a big component,
Medical,
and healthcare is a big component. I mean, those are big drivers of the job. Actually, the government employs about 13% of the people in Houston, so that's another big employer in Houston. So if you think about like what's going on with the broader macro economy, even though the wider nation has struggling because of, for instance, last year high gasoline and natural
sure.
gas prices and electricity prices, that's actually good for jobs and the economy of Houston.
Yep. And
if you think about a recession and you think about what's the likelihood maybe we are going to enter a recession, well, one industry that's very resilient during recessions is healthcare.
Sure.
And then you combine that with things like we have low inventory, we have lots of people moving to Houston. So you have to think about what are the factors that are really driving my local economy, and how do I best advise my clients and my referral partners based on that very specific local analysis. And then you have to couple it with that national information, which like I said, interest rates they're not dependent on where you live. I can get the same interest rate for the same size loan if I have the same credit score and all the same parameters in Washington versus Oregon versus Florida.
Yep.
But I'm going to be paying vastly different prices depending on where I'm buying in those states.
Sure.
For real estate.
You talked about some of the indicators. Where are you getting your information? How can other people do the same thing?
Right. So I mean, there's a lot of data that's out there that's free, which is what I typically try to
sure.
use. A lot of data. So the St. Louis Fed has a program, and they have literally hundreds of thousands of different data series that you can pull.
The FRED, right?
Yeah, it's the FRED database. And you can have it add into Excel, and you can pull in data automatically. So I use that. And then of course employment data that's given by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I get data from the EIA. That's free data that's available. So obviously stock prices are available. So if I want to look, how are Houston area companies, companies in Houston have big presence, how are they performing versus the wider stock market? I can do that by looking at stock prices.
Yeah, and so I'd encourage you guys to go check out the show that they did on this. It gives you a little bit more insight into some of those indicators that we're talking about. But I think what Hugh is getting at here and what his group is really trying to do is just be experts, not on just loans, but on the market, and being a partner and being able to talk to their customers to really make them feel confident that they know what they're talking about and they should be listened to. And so it's helped you guys out a lot. You guys have been doing great. You were one of our only branches to grow over the past year when we had such a rough time in 2022. And I think you're contributing to that with your analysis and coaching your team on that,
right,
and also coaching your borrowers and your buyers. So appreciate your time here today, Hugh. And if you guys want to learn more about how we do coaching here at Network Funding, you guys can check out the Grow link below and become part of the best network in mortgages. So Hugh, thanks again. Thanks everyone out there for watching. We'll see you next time on Today in Mortgages. Today in Mortgages is produced by Network Funding LP, which is an equal housing lender, NMLS 2297. The content of this program is meant to be a commentary on mortgage and real estate news, and any discussion of rates and or products should not be taken as an individual mortgage or home buying advice or pricing estimates. And any commentary on this show should not be considered a promise to make a loan. All applicants for a loan must qualify, and you should consult a professional regarding your individual loan scenarios for your financial situation. Visit our website at nflp.com/licenses for all state licensing and other legal information.